On July 26, 2022, the Ridgefield Planning and Zoning Commission conducted a regular meeting remotely by Zoom. The agenda of that meeting included old business, and item 3.4 related to an ordinance regarding cannabis proposed by the Ridgefield Board of Selectmen. What was glaringly omitted was any reference to application A-22-1, which had been accepted on June 14, 2022, and which was scheduled for a public hearing on August 16, 2022. When the applicant noticed the omission, he called it to the Planning and Zoning Director's attention. Her response: since A-22-1 has a public hearing scheduled for August the 16th, it would have been a, quote, placeholder and was therefore not listed. Even so, when the chairman got to 3.4 of the agenda, he failed to update the commission on the proposed ordinance, but instead launched into a discussion that took action on A-22-1 by adding referrals based on commission input.
All right, next item. This is just to touch base on the recreational cannabis establishments. I think the only thing worth making sure that we align on is we have to do the referrals. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Alice has already done all the referrals, or the traditional staff referrals. And last time we met, kind of left it to me for the other kind of more peer commission referrals. So this is the list I have, and this is all the kind of boards, commissions, and committees in town. And I think the ones we probably want to do are Board of Finance, Police Commissioners, Board of Selectmen, ECDC. I know they were very involved in a lot of the earlier conversations. The Ridgefield Community Coalition Against Substance Abuse, and the Youth Commission. Does anybody want to add anything or object?
Just a question, Rob. Are we talking about the moratorium or the other?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about the A-22-1.
So I just want to clarify, the applicant was not in favor of postponing this?
No, not unless he was asking for a concession, and Rob was away and I couldn't really find out, but he said that he would do an extension if we didn't get any consultants that they needed to pay for. And so we went ahead and scheduled a public hearing because I didn't really have feedback on that.
Can we still comment on that, or is that ship sailed and we're moving forward?
On referrals, you mean?
On if we don't have consultants they have to pay for, then we can wait until after the town vote. I guess my whole opinion on this is no matter what consultants or groups, the biggest group that we're missing is the town is going to vote on this ordinance. And I think what the town says is important regardless of our 9 personal opinions. So I would prefer to extend it, given that we're missing what is a very, I think, controversial and opinionated issue. We're missing the opinion of the people that live in this town.
Agreed. Also, I've delved into a little bit of consultants, and some of you were at the ECDC conversation, and I think that video is a good one to get a sense of pros and cons. And as far as consultants, I'm not really sure where else to go.
And I also put out some feelers on this. I don't have any great, like easy answers right now. I've got a couple more feelers out, but the problem tends to be that a lot of the consultants are either focused on enabling the business of it, which it's kind of probably a bit biased, or some of the consultants that have been involved in actually drafting the legislation and the policies. So these are probably the people that we're more interested in listening to because they really understand the law. A lot of those are somehow attached to the state level of actually putting together the legislation and most of those consultants are a little bit restricted from being able to participate in municipal conversations. I've got one or two leads, but nothing, nothing today that I can say we've got it.
Well, I think it comes down to having to open the public hearing on August 16th. Then you have 35 days to decide, which bring you beyond the vote, isn't it?
Yeah.
The votes. When is the ordinance vote? That's September 14th.
Here's the timeline, by the way, and these are the kind of key dates based on the actual submission of this application. Our current schedule is we've got to open by, we are scheduled to open on August 16th, you said it was?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, 16th. Well, we have to open it by the 18th, which would be the meeting at the
That's
16th.
right.
Yeah.
That's where my issue is. So we're opening on the 16th. We would need to close under normal statute 35 days later, which would be September 20th.
So that's after the town vote.
Right. And then we need to do a vote ourselves by November 24th. But again, we want to act faster on this anyway, by the way. Either the town vote is going to support the ordinance and the whole issue is going to be put to bed, or the alternative is we've got to enact our moratorium, which we now have hearings for. So in all cases, to be honest, I think this particular application is a little bit like it's sort of, I don't know what the right word is, but it's kind of.
The town is likely to take care of it through the ordinance process.
Yeah, if we're all sitting around, we're not, I guess is the answer, we're not going to be sitting around in late September wondering what to do. Either we're going to have an ordinance or we're going to extend our moratorium. But in any event, we do have the application, unless the applicant wants to extend, which so far does not seem willing to. And we need to make referrals. Alice has made all the staff referrals already. And we normally, with other applications to date, to be honest, we don't have a long, deep history of making referrals to other boards and commissions. We've really only, in my years on this commission, we haven't done a ton of them. So what we've traditionally done is I send a letter, I copy the public file, I copy Alice and whatnot to the elected officials, and the elected officials I think you probably want to hear from is Board of Finance, Police Commissioners, Selectmen, ECDC, Youth Commission, and Community Coalition Against Substance Abuse.
And
Rob,
I have already
what about-
sent it. I sent it to the police department and the health department,
Yeah.
and we have
What about-
heard back from the police.
What about Board of Ed? Do we want the Board of Ed?
Hmm.
I don't see them on the list. That's just even as a choice. So
Oh, you know what? Really interesting. Thank you, Sue. I don't know why this is meant to be a list of all boards, commissions, but the Board of Ed is missing.
I know it's missing.
Okay. I can easily add them.
Thank you.
Does anybody else, anything? If not, I mean, I'll do it. You kind of already delegated to me. I just want to make sure that I review it with you before we execute on it.
How about Boys and Girls Club?
It's not,
Oh, they're not on. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
all right. Anything else for cannabis establishments? All right, let's move on.
In so doing, he effectively added A-22-1 to the agenda, and thus violated the Freedom of Information Act, which requires a 2/3 vote of the commission to add items to a regular meeting agenda not publicly posted on that agenda. He and the Planning and Zoning Director were put on immediate notice to this violation, which could provide grounds for an appeal in the event that the application is denied. Both have chosen, so far, not to respond.